Hello and welcome everyone to another new video. So as you can see in the video, you can understand today's topic. So today's topic is like whether does ghosts exist and whether we should culture much about ghosts, whether we should watch much horror movies or watch much horror series or read horror story books, culture much about ghosts and the paranormal activities and the paranormal world. So before I move deep into the topic, I would like everyone to stay connected with me. I'd request everyone to subscribe to my channel and to like the videos and share the videos. If you remember, like once when we were childs, once when we were childrens basically, so how much scary it was to stay in the dark alone in a single room. Basically, once we have watched a horror movie or we have read a horror story or heard a horror story, at those point of time we used to really anxious and we used to get nervous. At certain times, we were so much afraid that we also used to feel skeptical to go to another room. We were so much afraid at certain point that we were afraid to also look under our bed. Mostly once when we have watched a horror movie or read something horror, real horror story, heard a really spine chilling horror story from someone, and if someone claimed that it is based on a true story, it is based on a true incident or something, then that used to create a larger impact in our mind. So it is really a debatable fact to mention like whether does ghosts exist, whether there is ghost existing in our world, and whether people who claims to have seen ghosts or felt the connection with the ghosts, whether they are truly saying the truth or whether they are just lying just to grab attentions and all. If we find out that many peoples are claiming that they have failed the paranormal world, they have failed the existence of the paranormal world, they have failed, they have realized that these paranormal activities are happening. It is something, though it is debatable, but within our soul, within our mind, I believe most of us do accept that yes, there is something, there is something like paranormal, and there is a concept of these ghosts and the souls that are not free, the souls that are like roaming and which are still searching for something, which are still having certain desires and all. And this is when definitely we feel scary and all. This feeling is something that is depicted in various kind of horror stories and storybooks and all. And the storytelling is something that entirely stretches like what was the reason, what was the pain that the individual probably had, and once the life is gone, the soul is still searching for something. The soul is still looking for something, and that is the most scariest part. So coming back to the topic of this video, like if it is something is in your mind, if it is your passion to watch horror movies, and if you just want to feel the adrenaline rush, or if you are kind of like addicted to it and you enjoy watching horror movies alone in a room at night, I have heard many people sharing this experience, like they enjoy watching horror movies alone and also at night. Like they think that it is kind of a like drug for them. It is a kind of a like high for them. But that is also something I believe is not advisable, or it is not something that you should do in a regular basis. Once in a while, if you are doing something, I don't think that it is going to create that much impact in your mind. But certainly, if you are focusing much on the paranormal activities and the paranormal world, it is your mind that opens the floodgate for the paranormal activities and the paranormal world to enter. And then, how much strong nerves you may be having, or how much strong you may think you are going to experience these paranormal activities in and around you. These paranormal activities, you will start feeling, you will start happening, like there are certain things I believe all of us have experienced. Like once we have watched a horror movie, and a real scary horror movie, once we have watched it, we will be hearing some sounds coming from here and there, which will make us feel scary. And those sounds we will neglect, or even not hear, even not also feel that something like that is like a sound is there or something, if we probably wouldn't have watched the movie. So that is what is opening the gate, opening the creating the entry for the paranormal feelings, and the paranormal world is trying to connect with us. That is what I understand. And the more you dive deep into this world, then you will definitely start feeling, and your life will start becoming miserable. Just for an example, if you have watched a movie where it is being shown like at 3 a.m. in the night, or some people mention 3 a.m. in the morning, there is a certain exorcism being taking place. Someone or some individual is getting possessed by a demon, which is called a demonic possession. And if you have watched it in a movie, and if you are waking up just when it is like 3 a.m. in the morning, then you definitely will feel miserable, and you will relate that if something like this happens to me, then what will it be? Also, like if you are a person who is staying alone, and certain things like this you start feeling, if in a certain movie you have watched, like an individual is always behind you, a ghost is always behind you, is staring at you, is keeping a look at you. And then if you are alone, and if you are staying alone, you may start feeling, and you may start having these visions that probably someone is staring at me from my back. At certain times, what happens is like there may be a shadow of yours in behind because of a certain lighting arrangements or something, and you just feel like you have seen someone standing just behind you, staring and looking at you. Or it may be something like there is may not be certain kind of a lighting that is creating a shadow of yours, but you still may experience like something just relating to that thing that I just mentioned. If in a certain movie, if you have heard like, if you've seen like there is being a certain song being played in a very low sound, a certain melancholy tone or something. And if you are like watching regularly movies and reading horror stories and all, you may start hearing a certain kind of a sound or a music at the middle of the night, and that will really make your life miserable and all. At initial stages, you may try to neglect, but like once you are much more getting involved to these paranormal worlds and activities, then you won't be able to neglect, and your life will become a hell. And that is when you need to go to a psychologist, a doctor, psychologist basically. And there can be multiple sessions. You can attend whole lot of sessions, and you can start taking medicines for like anxiety and all. But these things I believe won't help because it has started entering your mind. So the bottom line, the takeaway from this video, I believe, should be like not trying to come to a conclusion like whether does ghosts exist or not, whether does this paranormal world is just staying along with us. Is it, if it is like a different kind of a world in a different frequency which could not connect to us, and to this world we are not able to connect, so let it remain that way around. Or if certain people are coming to a conclusion like there is no concept of ghost and anything, and it is nothing like in science and in technology we ever have been able to means come to a conclusion or come to a rational understanding that there may be something like ghost and all. But just for a clear conclusion, I believe, as we all believe in God, basically there are atheists also who don't believe in God, but I believe there are more number of followers of God than in comparison to atheists. So we are believing in God because we need a certain amount of strength to carry on, to continue in our life, to move along, to reach our goals and everything. And God gives us the positive energy, the strength of our mind. That strength of mind is something that is what keeps us going. But if God is the positive energy, so a positive energy is balanced and countered by a negative energy. So that is something that clarifies, and that is where the reasonable understanding comes to a conclusion that if there is a positive energy, then there is bound to be a negative energy also, because that is how the balance is being maintained. Like if you see, like there is equal number of protons and there is equal number of electrons. These are balancing and stabilizing a system. So that is how I believe it remains. So the key takeaway from this video should be read as much horror stories you wish, watch as much horror movies you wish to watch, but do watch it responsibly. Do not deep go deep into this world much. Try to stay connected to your normal world. Try to see movies and read stories or discuss much about real things that are happening. And once in a while, if you wish to watch a horror movie, you can watch it. But remember that once when you are watching a horror movie, your mind is starting to connect to the frequency of the paranormal world and the activity that are happening in the paranormal world. So that's it, guys. That's it for the timing. I will probably make a horror story and I will share it with you. So I hope you guys like the video. Do remember to subscribe and stay connected that way for further more videos that I will be creating in the horror genre, and I will be sharing horror stories and all. And I Do know like whole lot of people are there who are interested to hear about horror stories and incidents which are based on true stories and all. So that's it for the timing, guys. Do take care. Do remember to subscribe. Bye bye.